And I am Deborah Morrison, the visionary for the We Can Do It Women movement. And I have another esteemed interviewee today in Anita Cragen. Anita, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much indeed.
Indeed. So Anita is amazing. And I'm just going to give you a short little intro, and then we're going to get into some back and forth because she is an amazingly interesting guest, and I want you to get as much from this time together as possible. Anita is a senior addiction specialist, internationally qualified drug and alcohol addiction therapist. The initials are ICADC, with over 20 years experience. She's worked with individuals from around the globe, offering hundreds of clients a new way of life. And I want to just even add my own little thing, a new way of hope, right?
Yeah.
A new way of hope.
Yeah.
She's certified in recovery dynamics. Her specialization is working with women, young moms, and their children, helping them, this chokes me up, helping them to repair the relationships that have been fractured and damaged by years of addiction and substance abuse. And we will get into some of those stories as we converse. She's worked with clients in the Middle East, Dubai, UAE, Saudi Arabia, all over Europe, including Switzerland and Italy. And she's passionate about recovery. She finds helping others hugely rewarding. She's the singular senior addiction specialist at Phoenix Programs. She's amidst an impressive staff of 12. It's the oldest established addiction treatment center in Spain and rated one of the best rehab centers in the world. And it's gorgeous. It encompasses daycare, sober living, and inpatient rehabilitation courses. All the patients coming in to Phoenix Programs enter recovery. They have different and specific needs and requirements. And Anita gets right to the meat of it, enables them to get, and most importantly, stay clean and sober. It's Anita's job to assess their individualized needs, work with them, provides a care package, highly customized, best suited to their personal situation, considering family, work commitments, as well as a host of other factors and restrictions. And I welcome you to the show, Anita. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome. So talk to us about your history, if you will. And we've talked about it just a little bit. And that is going to give people an insight into some of your background.
Thank you, Deborah. I'm a recovering alcoholic myself. So actually understanding what's wrong with people, it gives me an insight of what they're going through. And first of all, I thought it was like something missing, and it was something, I speak to them about their moral compass. Yes. And I thought personally, I really want to help people. And 20 years ago, on January the 7th, 2005, I come into work with, I came off a life support machine. I was 10 days, touch and go, whether I lived or died. I tried to take my own life because I couldn't keep doing this to my family and everybody around me that loved me and cared for me. So I took myself off and tried to commit suicide, but obviously it didn't work. The police found me and I went straight into hospital, and because my liver was packing up. Oh, and yes, we don't realize that what we do, I'd taken paracetamols and, tons of alcohol, and, that this is the way that people go. And sometimes it's just a cry for help.
For sure. For sure.
So I have a really understanding with working with ladies around the world. And so it's been an amazing journey. We've had 3 treatment centers. So, we've worked in different places and with different people and, from all walks of life. And I find it fascinating. I used to be a real estate agent here in Spain. I had a big business. My company was Marbella Estates. And sometimes when I was drinking, I couldn't even sign a commission sheet, because the drink had taken over from me, and where I didn't really start drinking until I was about 36.
Is that right? Wow.
Yes,
So what was
yes.
that? All right, come on, help us with what was happening that pushed you to an addiction in
I
this case of alcohol?
I think it was trauma,
Yes.
and a lot of people suffer from trauma.
Right, right, right.
And they need to seek help when they've got traumatic, I lost my parents within 6 weeks, and
Mm.
I felt that that pushed me over the edge,
Yes, of course.
the trauma of it. And I just carried on drinking. And then in the end, it was like Groundhog Day. It happened every day.
Yes.
And so many people, with help. And I always say to people, seek help. If something's going on in your life, seek help, speak to somebody, and you hear that so many times that they don't think they can carry on and do recovery. And I
Mm.
say to girls, when I've got them and, they're with me, and I like, you can do this. It's that positive affirmations of a morning, you wake up and you're positive straight away.
Right,
And
right.
that their life can change. I said, if my life can change, which is totally changed,
Yes, indeed.
um, their life can change, and to give them hope every single day,
Every day.
and I always, because I believe as well, lockdown was not very good for us all, because
I'm thinking.
the disease likes isolation.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
and I call it a disease because it is a
Yeah.
disease,
Yes.
and once you have it,
Uh,
never goes away. It's working on it each day, which we do. We work on it every single day, that we have an amazing life if you don't pick up that one thing, which is a drink, which is alcohol.
absolutely.
So it's now it's water.
Yes, of course. Of course.
And there's people are, what happened in lockdown, I believe that everybody was like lonely indoors, very isolated. And what could they do? They were just drinking too much. So it's got more and more,
Yes.
and there's all other addictions now because of social media. There's addictions on, there's all the way through. There's people become addicted to it, but there is a solution.
Wow. Well, you are the solution. You're certainly a key part of that solution. And coming from your own experience, there's really nothing like that in terms of being a leader. And of course, I'm the visionary for the We Can Do It Women. So I'm all about, yes, we can do this.
Yes, we can. Yes,
Yes,
we
we can.
can. Yes, we can. We can do it.
So tell me, were you a mom, Anita, when you
Yes,
came
I
to
was a mum of three. Uh,
really?
yes, and two of my children live in America, actually, in
Where
Dallas,
about?
Texas.
Oh, Dallas, Texas. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I traveled to Dallas a lot, and I've got grandchildren there, and
Oh, good.
yeah, it's an amazing life. I mean, my daughter, because of my addiction, she didn't let me go to her wedding because I was newly around. I was about 10 months in, and it could go either way.
Yes,
I promised them so many times. Every time, I promise you, I swear on your life, I'm not going to pick up that drink. And each time I did, I picked up a drink. So she said, rather than have that, and I couldn't enjoy my day, I made that decision. But we're best friends today. So she's my best friend.
well,
And
she was then, you know that, right?
yes, I do.
Those hard decisions.
Mm, yeah, they're really hard decisions. And I made that decision, and I renew that decision every single day.
Of
And
course.
every day I will help people, no matter what. I will go out. I could do real estate if I wanted to, but I choose not to. I choose to have, helping people that I know what they're going through.
This is it.
You know,
This is
it's it it's really strange because I've never smoked a cigarette in my life.
yeah, because sometimes they go together, right? People
They
that are
go
drinking
together, but
alcohol
I've
or
never,
smoking.
if
Yeah.
someone said to me, how do I give up smoking, Anita? I'd say, I don't know,
Yes, of course.
because But if someone said to me, how do I give up drink? I know exactly what you have to do,
There you go. There you
you
go.
know. So yes, yes.
Oh
So
my gosh. So when you were at age 36, now, so how old were your three kids?
um my son was just born at that time, and my daughter was 11 going on 12, and the other son was coming up for 9. Yeah.
Formative,
Yeah.
formative ages. And a
Yeah.
newborn. Oh my heart. Oh wow.
Yes. Yeah. So yes. And then I was married to an accountant. My first husband was an accountant. And, we had like 2 cars in the drive, the big house, everything that I could possibly want and wish for.
Yes.
But I chose to leave and to become a party girl, and I married my next husband, and he was, he was a party boy.
Um,
Yeah.
um,
And my new husband, he's been with me 20 years. He was the person that I met and told me that he had a solution. So Chris Spencer said that he's got a solution. And
oh,
I've been,
so he's the program director.
he's
And
the program director. Yes.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize you were married. Sorry. Oh
He
wow.
was 10 years clean at the time when I met him. So yes, yes, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So we're passionate about this.
yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
So this, your work spans, you've worked in so many countries and so forth. So talk
yeah.
to us about how this global perspective has influenced your approach to helping women in particular regain the power that they've lost, the dignity
Yeah,
and so forth.
definitely. Well, working in Dubai, it's mainly there prescription drugs,
Oh,
because people get hooked on prescription drugs.
okay.
It's quite known that and then getting them off,
Yeah.
and then meeting with them. I normally meet with them for about 3 months,
Okay.
because I find that, it's 100 days for the mind to change. And when people have been in our treatment center, we find that 3 months is a good time for them, and so we always recommend that 3 months
Mm,
to actually seek that help,
okay.
and someone constantly being there in that 3 months, because 100 days for the mind to change. And that's what they said about, I believe, in America, that it was 90 meetings in 90 days, which helps you, consistently doing something to help you, positive affirmations every day, and speaking with somebody every day, which helps.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
tremendous. That
yes, yeah,
someone that you know, Anita, has your back.
yes, yes,
Has your back.
definitely.
You're tempted and you're in the center. It
Mm.
has to be a life, it has to be transformational for your patients.
Definitely, definitely. And it transforms everybody's life around you.
Oh,
It's like a stone going into a lake. It just spreads.
circles.
It just spreads. And that's what we see. We see the families getting well
Yeah,
around them, and sometimes the families come in and they need some help, um, to move on from this,
yes, of course.
because that's not that person. When they're drinking, that is not their person.
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
drink takes over the person, and they can't stop. No matter what you promise, no matter what's happening, it can't stop.
Yeah.
You need that being taken away from that environment.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
very important, that we take them away from the environment and get them help, because that's the thing that they need. They need to be away from it, because they haven't then got the dealer around the corner. They haven't got the
Right.
off license down the road. They are very new in that environment. So I recommend to actually go to another country
And I was going to, all right, talk to us. Yeah. Mhm.
that they don't have that I can ring up such and such to do that. I can do that, and then they're there and they're in a cocoon with
Yes.
doing things that they enjoy doing. You know, I do cold water swimming every day.
Oh, you told me that. So what temperature is cold water? I'm just bracing myself.
It's very cold at the moment. It's about 10.
Oh, my heart. Freezing. Oh
Yes,
my
it's
God.
cold. It's cold, but it does get, it's really good for the body and
Yes.
it's really good for the mind because it gets all these endorphins working in the mind, which is really good for you. And
True.
all when we've got a client, we do everything that's good for the mind. We like, if they like painting, that all those things are concentrating on that one thing that they're enjoying doing. They love going to the gym. We get a trainer for them. So they're looking right in their body and they're
Right.
getting their mind right.
Right.
They're eating well. We make sure that they're really eating nutritionally wise because when you're drinking, all you do is drink. You don't put any nutritions into your body. So we've got a nutritionist to actually give them the right food.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We have beach walks here, which is superb. You
Oh
know,
my
it's
God.
just gorgeous here in Spain.
Now,
Normal.
pardon my geographical ignorance. What's the big body of water that you're beaching onto?
We're reaching the Costa del Sol. So
Oh,
we're in Marbella.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's beautiful here. The weather's glorious normally.
I'm I'm seeing the pictures. It's amazing. So talk to us. I mean, the first time I'm just attempting to imagine the familial, circumstances, and I was actually almost gonna, I said circumstances and I almost stopped to say circus because I think it's probably very confusing, right? A lot of things happening. But the first time I heard this, it made complete sense. So I was talking to a 50-year-old man, and yet he was relating like a 24-year-old because that is the cessation of his development. That's when he turned to something to take away his processing power. And so I think, speak to us about that, and how you might integrate
Yes.
with families understanding, okay, you're expecting much more, but let's ratchet it back and let's meet the person where they are
Yeah. And lots of them, when they smoke weed at a certain age, it stops their brain growing.
right now, right now.
So they're sort of that age and they're not able to do everything, and we teach them that they can do all these things. They can integrate with society because their brain has stopped.
Yes.
We have some children that are catatonic, um, which is really, it's very disturbing when they're like that. And some of them just don't get back to being normal again, which is really, really sad. But on the whole, once they've got all of that out in the system and then it's teaching them how they can behave and things like that. Lots of them are not eating right. That's and when drink gets, like, you stop at that age. Like I stopped at like 36. I don't feel 70 now.
Yes,
You know,
exactly. And
it's
you
just,
don't look it either, sweetheart. So there we
thank
have
you, darling. Thank you. Thank you. And the mindset is younger. I find lots of alcoholics, their mindset is younger. And yeah, it's just amazing how, we're working with them, we're working with their family, how this changes their whole life and their whole perspective of life, and we go with us, we work a 12-step program. I work a 12-step program. So any traumas that they have, we go through the traumas and we see that, if they've had trauma as a child, there's no parting that they have, so they don't carry that burden with them anymore. We do rituals. So we do rituals when we do the steps on
yes.
step 4 to actually get everything that is called resentments. If they've got any resentments, they write it down and we clear their resentments. And then we put all their resentments in a rucksack, and they walk along the beach with this resentments in the rucksack, and they offload it in the sea, which is the most incredible feeling. And they don't need to walk around with it anymore. You know, it like disappears. It's just
So,
incredible.
tell me, I mean, literally, they're picking up a rock and saying, "This is the resentment I have against my dad," and you're putting it in a sack.
Yeah, and they carry it around or the rucksack, and then they walk with it. We said to them, walk with it and see what it feels like carrying
Thank
that
you.
resentment with you.
How powerful.
It's so powerful.
How long do they, I mean, is this happening in the same day, or are they carrying it a few days?
No, they're carrying it for like a few hours.
Okay, okay, okay.
We get them to carry those resentments around with you. And then they throw the resentment away and they get rid of it. And they do not have to carry it around with them anymore. It's like, it's just they're free then.
What a ritual. I
Yes.
so moved by that. I can just imagine people just hurling that
Yes, yes,
way out there so it doesn't even, find its way back.
yes, yeah.
Me.
It's just incredible program. And my
Oh,
husband's the program
program
inventor.
director. He is. Yes, indeed.
Yes, yes, and he's got a program as well because he worked in Dubai for 3 years. So he's got a 7-stage program
Okay.
for Dubai. So we hit the Dubai market as well. So
Mhm.
we work with people in Dubai and in Saudi Arabia and all of those countries because it's a different program that we work.
Okay.
So he's made that program, and he's
So,
just he's just done a smoking program as well. So for someone that wants to give up smoking as well. So yeah.
okay. So Dubai is, if I recall, and I wrote this note, that's more prescription drugs typically. I mean, there's aberrations, but
Typically, there's only 2%, which is alcohol in Dubai.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And
Pardon my ignorance, is that because people of Muslim faith are really not drinkers? Or does it have nothing to do with the religion?
yeah, they shouldn't be drinking. It's the religion that they shouldn't drink.
Okay.
But
Okay.
they do drink, but it's not high there. You know, there's
Yeah.
different things like crystal meth and all different other things that they take. Cocaine's very um thing, but they've got help there now. You
Of
know, they
course.
didn't used to have help, which now they've got help, which is good, that because I think you need help with
You do.
this.
Yes, you do. Yeah, this is not
You know,
nothing to handle on your own.
no, you can't do it on your own. So seek help. If you're out there and you've got a problem, pick up the phone, and I there's lots of, it's in the news at the moment with that Liam um, Payne. And perhaps if he would have sought help, then, that would have been something that would have been good for him. I know he went into somewhere, but not for long. What people need to do is a longer time. If they've had this disease, they need to go a longer time to actually, be shown how to live a life beyond your wildest dreams.
Well,
Which,
that is certainly the rainbow that awaits people that seek the treatment. So I was going to ask you about the 12-step program, which I'm somewhat familiar with here in the United States, and of course it's worldwide. So do people then need to follow, like after they spend 100 days in the Phoenix programs or wherever, then are you continuing to engage with them, or do you get them sponsors, local
yes,
sponsors? Like if they came to you from USA, and it could be,
yeah,
and then they
yeah.
go back, do you kind of match them with sponsors so that they're
Not
continuing?
not sponsors, because
Okay.
it's individual, it's someone individual that they like, but we recommend that they go to Alcoholics Anonymous or Cocaine Anonymous or, whatever their addiction is, they go to that place and they see somebody in the rooms because they've already been introduced to it because we introduce them to it. So we'll be taking them there, and then they'll see, and then, you know, we'll talk with them afterwards. What did you like? You know, what did you see in that person? And we recommend that they keep going. Like, I still go to meetings,
Yes.
and I'm 20 years.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you know, I do recommend that the girls that I work with, they go to meetings. I go to meetings. I've got mentor. They have a mentor. So it's having that mentor that you can speak to no
Absolutely.
matter what.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
And
yeah, go ahead.
the 12-step program is, it's one of the best in the
Oh,
world.
unbelievable.
It's
Effective.
um it's unbelievable.
Although I must say, I mean, the idea of it, I don't have an addiction issue myself, but if I did, the idea of going and in person and in residency, especially for the 100 days, that it seems completely
Yes.
viable. I mean, completely my would be my first choice. Talk to us about how your own approach to self-care and your boundaries, because sometimes our boundaries get a little slippery, especially if we find ourselves, you know, or someone that we love is drunk a lot of the time. There's got to be a lot of blurriness there. Talk to us about how you've sorted
Yeah.
through that.
How I deal with that, I normally give them like 3 chances. And if in that 3 chances that they still are persisting, I will always be there. So I'll send them something of a morning, which is a little quote. I put a Facebook quote on. Anybody will write me a private message, say, I'm struggling, Anita, please can you help me? Well, then we'll do a private call.
Yeah.
So I stay in touch with, you know, most people, but there's been thousands go through.
Hey, oh my heart. How many
Yes.
people have come through Phoenix programs?
Oh, my husband, when he worked in Dubai, was something like 1,000 a week. Yes. So that was an inpatient, outpatient, and things like that. So it's like it's just vast in that 20 years that we've been working with people, which is, and you see them. I mean, we have we make them do in the therapy is what their life was like before and what they're like going to be afterwards. And one of my girls, she said, Anita, I only put one baby on it, and now I've got 4.
Oh, that's adorable. Oh my God.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's like, and what their vision is for them, you know, because they've not got a vision before. They haven't got that, you know, they haven't got that. So that gets their mind thinking, wow, can I do this? And I say, yes, you can. You know, build it and they will come.
And that you and Chris have done, I want to say that is amazing. Talk to us. That everybody has like a couple of clients, patients. Do you call your people patients, clients? Clients.
Clients.
Talk to us about one of the most significant women clients that you've had.
Well, I had a girl in London. Yeah, she was from like Sloane Street, you know, the girl, and you know, she had anorexia, she had alcoholism, and she's gone on to do amazing things. You know, we can't discuss their names
No,
or
no,
anything because, you know, it's they're anonymous.
of course they
But
are.
they've gone on to do amazing things, and you look at them and you see them, you might see them on TV and you go, oh my goodness, you know, how amazing is that? You
Yes.
know, so it's just incredible. And my husband's worked with so many different people that you know, and it just blows your mind,
I don't doubt that. I
you
don't.
know, and you see them getting well. And, you know, when they come in, they're shaking and they're sweating. They can't put 2 words together. And then you see them and we used to wave them off
Yeah.
um, in our treatment center and wave them off. And we all go out and see them off and things like that. And you think,
Oh, what a wonderful ceremony.
it's just gorgeous to actually see that. You know, they're just, their eyes, they're alive.
Yeah.
They're just got a new life.
A spring in their step, right? I mean,
Oh, spring in their step, and you know, and I'm always sort of laughing all the time. I'm sort of like, yeah, you got the girls, you know, that they've not cooked or anything like that. And I was always in our first centre that I was always, not now, there's a chef, but before I was cooking, and they'd come into the kitchen and they cook, and then we'd all start washing up, and you know, it's a whole new thing for them, which is really good for them. We found that that was a good environment, that they would love to come into there, and yeah, we just had a brilliant time. It's just been, it's amazing.
wow. And
Mm.
so you're obviously a very resilient woman. Then, in your own personal story, talk with us about how long it takes a person. You can use your own circumstance or that of a patient or a client. Excuse me, a client. h- how long it is all depends, but how severed the relationships have been to really get the families together and bring those resentments into healing. I mean, I got to think this is a several month process in some cases, is it?
Yes, up to a year, I think. Yes, yeah. I think the year can give that, the families get back, they start trusting them, because
That's it.
trust is a big thing.
That's
How
at the
could
core.
you trust someone, you know, and you think, no, I can't trust them. And once they start trusting them, it builds up their confidence, and then everybody else starts, you know. But unfortunately, it's a relapse in brain disease, and some people do relapse. But what they've got is they've got a foundation, and it's like building a house. If
Hmm.
you've got a fantastic foundation, that house is going to stay up, but you need that foundation, you know, and sometimes you lose a little brick, but you come back and you've got that foundation, and you can build on it, you know, which is very important.
Yes. That is important, and I'm apologizing because I think the connection across the pond there is such that I'm kind of talking over you, and I certainly don't mean to be doing that. So the trust is so valuable, and I think from a financial angle, I'm empowering women to come back to or come home to and have a relationship with their money in particular, and not because I worship money, absolutely not. Yet it will be a tool for them, and so I say we're going to get a win. We're going to get
Mhm.
a win and we're going to compound on a win and another win and a win. And that feels to me like you start to build that trust. And
Yes,
then
yes,
it starts to compound. And then
yeah.
once one sibling says, well, all right, so we're seeing good progress. And I have to think, I can't even, it just brings me to tears to imagine
Mhm.
families coming together after there's been significant seizure.
Yes,
It
yeah.
must be amazing.
It's
Amazing.
amazing. So yeah, when we work with the family, bring the family in, and yeah, it's incredible. And they can speak and say, well, I didn't trust you, and you're going to have to earn that trust, you know. And what they do is, you've spent a lot of money on addiction, costs an absolute fortune. I know from experience, you can lose everything, and I've been homeless as well with one
Is
of my
that
sons.
right? Is
Yes,
that right?
yes,
Wow.
yes, yeah,
So
yeah.
sometime between age 36 and when you became
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So I know from first experience that, you can lose things because you're not making right decisions.
Of course not. Of course
You
not.
know, you're drinking and you're making wrong decisions, rash decisions, and you can lose everything. And I've known lots of people lose an awful lot of money, you know, um, but you can make it again. There's no reason that you can't. And the more that you get yourself well, the more that you put into things,
Right, right, right.
money is not quite so important to me as it used to be,
Farthest.
because life, that's why this is my passion. Recovery is my passion. So, you know, I work on this every day.
And I am so clear on wealth, wanting to define wealth uh, here and in the scope of my influence to include physical, mental, relational, spiritual, and financial. But we as Americans, maybe they're just like myopic on the financial. And I say, you know, a lot of times, and I was in practice 42 years, people spend the first half of their life chasing this, and the next half of their life spending a lot of this to get what they lost in their health and their sobriety perhaps back. And so
Yeah.
let's attempt to see that warning sign ahead of time. And if we are caught in it, to seek the help and stop the pain, stop this
Yes.
slippery slope, right?
Yes, definitely. And it's really like going into an elevator. You know, there's lots of floors above, but you can choose which floor to come off at.
Oh, that's rich.
What floor is important? You come off at that floor because it's only going down. It's only going down. There's no upward. Once you're in that lift, you're going down further and further and further. So, you know, seek help.
Push the up button. If you're
Yeah.
in that elevator
Push,
on the lower floor, push that up button.
yeah, push that up button and then you'll make it.
Well, the smile, I mean, I can't even imagine people aren't, you know, completely taken in because you elicit such a warm and an ambiance that come on in, come on in. What I was gonna say the water's fine, but the water you're swimming in, I'm not probably happy. But come on in, the recovery process is life-giving, life-giving in every
It's
sense.
yes. And my daughter rang up today and she said, "Go for it, Mama. You're so passionate about it. You know, they're going to see your passion, you know, and
Right.
that's what I am. I'm passionate about recovery, you know, and there are some people that you can't help, you know, and but you have to stay connected, even though you can't help them. Stay connected because one day they will return. So I always think that, you know.
That is great advice for any of us because we all know people. And
Mm,
instead of just saying, all right, I did everything I could. I mean, I'm
yeah.
I'm a believer. I pray a lot and I send good juju to people that
Yes.
is attempting to help them connect to their self, their source, and whatnot. Um, so at what point, just at what point do you see a person, Anita, and you think to yourself, based on my experience, this isn't going to work. You have a sense early on, and then you temper your treatment, and how does that work?
You have a sense
Yeah,
that it might not work,
yeah,
but you have to keep going no matter what.
yes,
Because there'll be one time that you'll say something, that one time will just plant that seed,
yes,
you know, and when you plant a seed in something, it's like the garden,
yeah.
it's going to grow.
That's right.
And you plant that seed, and that tree could grow. So we just keep planting seeds and then just watch them grow. You know, and that's what we have to do we have to take the weeds out the garden. So that's why we do the work, to take
Yeah.
the weeds out the garden so the garden looks beautiful.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So the garden actually can produce as much as the garden is capable, right?
absolutely, that garden will grow, you know, and yeah, it's an amazing life, you know,
Oh,
and it's here for everyone to have.
yeah, talk to us about because my audience is typically 60 and I call wiser, 60 and wiser.
Oh
So
yeah,
for
yeah.
women recreating themselves, or perhaps they've done the outward giving, the family, whatever, and now they're looking to come into their own. Um, you've done this, you started
Yes.
this whole thing at 50. And so talk to them about maybe tips and tools to give them the verve. Go.
Just really see what their passion is, because you have to be passionate about something. It's important that you've got that drive and that passion. And once you've got that drive and passion, just whatever you want to do it, go for it. It's like, yeah, I speak to people and they say, I don't really have to do anything and things like that. I think, oh my goodness, you have to have that drive. You have to have that passion, and I meet lots of people and they haven't got that passion. And I say, give me a list of all the things that you love doing. And once they give me a list, then we go, well, how are you going to achieve that?
There you
What
go.
are you going to do to achieve that?
Yeah.
So I had one lady and she said, I want to be a cleaning lady. So I said, okay, then be a cleaning lady. She has now got a big company just by saying something, that was on her list. She went out, she was a cleaner, she could see that that's going to work. She would then, I need to get more, I need to get vans, I need to do this. She goes, Anita, I just can't believe it, from us putting it down. It's like manifesting
That's
things.
it. That's it.
I manifested, uh, a, I have Phoenix charity.
Yes, you
Uh,
mentioned the charities. You did the charities before age 50. Go ahead.
yeah, so I wanted a charity. So I wanted a charity, but not for alcoholics, because I feel that I'm always on the end when I'm speaking to somebody that's the loved ones. So they've been in a place that's been, I don't know what to do with her. I don't know what to do with him. It's my brother, or it's my husband, or it's my wife, or things like that. So I thought, when I'm not doing so much, I'm going to help them people. So I've got that charity. So they ring me up and say, could we help? And I do help them, some of them. And yeah, and what I've manifested, which will come, I'm sure, I want a home for them. So they come to Spain to recuperate
Nice.
from the stress that they have. So one day I will open Phoenix, not for addicts, but for the people, the loved ones. So that's my new project, and I'll be working on that new project. So yeah, I've manifested that. I've got the company and I'll be working on it.
Oh,
So yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so exciting. And so that leads me into my question about community, the role of community support, and how that lends itself to the recovery process. And then how can women kind of engage and build their own communities, or tap into existing networks?
Well, it's just really, it's helping people in your community, whatever it needs to be, because with COVID, it's brought isolation. People aren't coming out, and we need to be connected, connected with a community, what we like, and the community is likewise people, like-minded people, so they can have a community. And, say my friend round the corner can't get her shopping. Well, let's go and do her shopping and have a little chat with her occasionally, because she's very lonely. It's going out there and actually doing those things and having a coffee with somebody, and just putting yourself a little bit more out there.
Absolutely.
And that's what people don't do. They have their own world, and they're not doing that, And it's amazing when you do have a coffee with somebody and that you don't know. It's amazing that I had a coffee today with somebody, and I didn't know anything about this lady, but like, it was wonderful, because now I know something about that person. And that's what we need to do more. and yeah, and talk to women, like-minded women, which is, you know, they have so much to give, you know, that it's great. It's just like put your passion down on a list,
There you go.
make it work.
There you go. All right, so
Mm.
talk to us about the gender difference. How have you sensed, because I continue to experience women that are so outwardly focused and everyone first and themselves last. So if I'm having an addiction issue, I'm probably not even attending to it because I'm so outwardly focused. Are men and women approaching seeking help differently, Anita?
Yes, they are. And I've had ladies that have been indoors and they're just drinking all day. You know, they try and stop, you know, to stop drinking when the husband comes home, and sometimes that doesn't manage. You know, they brought up the kids gone to university or to college, and they've just got nothing to do.
Yes.
So they start drinking
Mm.
and they're isolated
Yes.
and they're not meeting people, you know, and there's a breeding ground for addiction. And so I say to them, go out, meet people, meet likewise people, you know, and, you know, they start recovering. And, oh, they go, Anita, that's great. It's great advice. Yes.
Um,
Mm.
And I don't know if you have something similar. My feeling is it's worldwide, these meetup groups online. This did not used to be present and
Yes.
available, but you can get into a hiking meetup group, a singing, right? Some photography. So these are
Yes.
things that I suggest to women to kind of prime their pump. Like, what do you want to do? And they're like, "Ugh, I don't know." And we're
Yeah.
like, well, how about this? And then they say, oh, okay, well, maybe that. And do you have something like that that you can just tap in?
Yes, yes, yes. We have walking groups here, which are incredible, which is amazing. They meet like-minded people. They do singing groups here. You know, people, you just got to go out there and do it and meet like-minded people, you know, and yeah, it's great. It's great. Spain's great for all those things. And they love kids here. They love kids. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
interesting. I
yeah.
hadn't even thought about that, but
Yeah, they love kids. So
huh.
yeah,
So what? Go ahead.
we have a great time here in Spain. They do ferias where, you know, everybody goes out, the whole of the family goes out. There is a bit of drink, but really once you understand that you can't do it
Yeah.
and it's really into you, you can go anywhere, do anything, you know. So yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, I do. I'm very sensitive when I know a person is a recovering alcoholic and I'm out to dinner with them, that
Mm.
I either refrain, and then sometimes if they're not bothered by it, although I always like want to be cautious and I
Yeah.
don't need to drink that much, so I
Mm.
wouldn't typically. But in terms of protocol, do you find people are able to basically just say, help me not to see you with a drink? Or are they, or should we as non-drinkers, if you will, be very, very cautious about that?
I think it depends whether
Okay.
they're new around.
Ah, yes,
Then if they're new around, it's just to respect them for a little while. But
absolutely.
like for me, I'm now not bothered if I'm in the right frame of mind, because it does remember on the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
But it depends really, you know, for me personally. Um, and the only time it's disrespectful when I'm trying to help someone and then they drink. That's a little bit disrespectful. Um, so then I draw the line on that, because then I think, no, you know, I'm trying to help you. I know that you are, and really you're not doing yourself any favors or me any favors.
For
So
me.
yes, yes. So
Mhm.
a question of, yeah, there's boundaries on those things. And I think you have to have your boundaries. You might think, you know, it's okay, but it's not okay. You know,
That's what
it's,
I'm thinking, just to err on the cautious, right? Caution. Don't drink with when I'm with another person that's had an issue and had the disease. It's not an issue, it's a disease. And
It's a disease.
just,
And I didn't realize it was a disease. You know, I thought, you know, what is going on with me? I just can't stop. And then I'd been into treatment centers, but they didn't put it as good as my husband puts it. He says, you know, like you've got an allergy to strawberries. Would you eat strawberries every day? You know, and you have got that allergy, Anita, and that is not going to ever get better. You know, and when someone actually says, you know, you've got an allergy to this, you know, I'm allergic to penicillin. If someone came to me with a penicillin needle, I go, no. I'm allergic to that. But alcohol poisons my body because my liver doesn't function. You know, and my head still tells me you need another drink.
yes, of course.
So, you know, it's like, but when you come into us, you learn all about that because you're not aware of it before.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I
You
think
know,
like autopilot, right? That's the severity of the addiction and the
yes.
yeah. So I read a lot about neuroplasticity and you know grooving new neuron pathways and so forth. So this is all a part of what you're treating people inpatient in residency, right?
Yes, and you can't filter the acetone and the acetate and all of those things. So we're teaching them all about that.
Yeah.
So we do the medical consequences of it. We do the highway onto addiction. Where did you become addicted? And they're all different. You know, everyone's different.
Yes.
So, you know, would it be when you were growing up? Were your peers? Would it be? And it's very interesting where it started. So there's lectures every day. My husband has 138 slides for them. So each slide has he does a lecture on it, and then we interact and then say what's our thing, and they can actually see it. It's like light bulb moments, and we can actually say, wow, that's what happened, you know. And then I couldn't stop, and each time I go back to it, I think it's the problem, but it's not. I've crossed a line, and that line I will never be able to go back to. And once we teach them that you'll never, you know, because it's like one day I'm going to drink again. No, it's not happening. You know, that is something that you're not going to be able to do. So we have to make a point of that.
Yes.
And there's, yes.
I know. I just read something maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, and someone said, "Okay, it's really cut back, but I'll occasionally have a drink." And I was just like, "Oh, please don't." You know.
No, it's not happening.
Would you talk with us about how the liver can, as I recall, livers do regenerate. So now you've stopped your drinking,
Yes.
and talk to us about the hope for you know your liver to regenerate.
Yeah. The liver will repair itself over time,
Yeah.
but it still have scarring on it.
Okay.
Okay. So it would still be healed. I've just had some problems just because of my liver and the food. I was just having too much sugar. So I've sort of stopped that. So the liver will repair itself, but it still will have the scars on it, you know, and it will not work quite as well as somebody with a normal liver, you know, that's not abusing it. Because lots of people in their alcoholism have abused their liver. So we give them the right things to get their liver working properly again, but it still will be scarred. And, you know, help with your gut and everything like that, with your nutritions and everything. So, yeah, we need to sort all that out, which we do on a blood test, what you need, what you don't need, the specialist that was a nutritionist and a doctor, which will help you. So we'll help the mind, the body, and the spirit. Yes,
Right now.
the whole thing. Yeah.
Talk to us about children. What's the age? Do you bring children in residency?
No,
Okay.
no, we're not a specialist residence with for children. There is a specialist restaurant, which we trained the girl that she has the Wave treatment center. I think it's in Kuala Lumpur. But she was part of our team in our first treatment center, and she just decided that she was going to help young people. That was going to be her speciality. And she has. She's does amazing work. You know, there is a special clinic where they're taught different things, and I believe that they do different things. And, you know, it's an incredible clinic that she has in Kuala Lumpur. So yes, yeah. But we really take them about 17
Okay.
once they're, you know, they're past that stage. But there's all different things, you know, there's addicted to game things, and, you know, it's incredible, you know.
Well, again, I mean, or would you take in people that have sexual addictions?
Yes, we
Anything.
take people in. Absolutely, we cover everything. With a
Absolutely.
12-step program, the only step that's different is step one. Once you've got step one, you know, I'm addicted. You know, I have someone that spent 100,000 euros on fortnightly a game, and they just spent a lot of money on it, you know, and it's just buying little costumes and things like that, and just because it absorbs their life. Then they can't actually get on with their work. They just want to play on their game, and they're not achieving anything. And it's, you know, it's no, it's, they're not going anywhere. But you know, they found success.
I'm confident beyond a shadow of a doubt that anybody that comes into your sphere and Phoenix and Chris is going to be absolutely transformed. I can't get that image out of my head, and I don't want to, this whole image of waving to the people that have graduated.
Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing, and we just love it. We're passionate about it.
I'm thinking if I was leaving there, I'd be turning around with my cell phone and just capturing the staff and
Yes.
everyone just saying like, well done.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And you can do this. It's like every day, you
We can
know.
do it,
And
women. We can do
yes,
it.
definitely.
Well,
And
go ahead.
yeah, we pray of a morning, you know, that, you know, that's important for me to pray every morning. There's, you know, there's certain people that will come up, and they'll come up like a little flash. And then what I'll do is I'll swim in the ocean where I'm quiet to meditate. And it's just, I can't tell you, it's just beautiful. It's the most beautiful experience ever. When you come to Spain, we have to swim together.
I will come to Spain. I will see your center, meet Chris, and I will have my bathing suit on and go to the edge of the water and probably come in with you, but I will probably be freezing.
But
I'm kind of a daredevil, so yeah, I would do that. And yet doing it every single day. I mean, and yet you are so right that those endorphin releases, that has to be
oh,
completely.
just changes, it changes your life, their life. And I only did it and started doing it in lockdown. And because I started doing it, I have on Instagram 385,000 people following me. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Because it's
oh,
consistently doing something. And you, if you do that consistency, it's whether it's money, whether it's whatever it is, you know, that it's consistently doing it, consistently praying, consistently, you know, being that good person that you want to be today. You know, I'm consistently, you know, marginal gains, I always say to the girls, marginal gains, just little tiny things. Give me that marginal gain.
there you go.
Give me that tiny little bit, and then you'll get to that place that you want to. So yes.
Well, Anita, I cannot thank you enough for sharing yourself, your work, your passion, that of Chris, the center, and all of the thousands of women and children and men that you have
Yeah.
helped
Yeah.
find themselves, come home to themselves, create
Yes.
themselves, and expand into all they were really meant to be. I am so
Absolutely.
grateful to you and your fine
Thank you.
work.
Thank you so much.
Indeed. It's a real
And
pleasure.
I'll wave you goodbye like I'm standing at the end of the center.
I love that. I love that. I'm going to see. Yes. Excellent.